When I was in Scranton, and I hear this from some friends and relatives down even in Arkansas, you go to these parks. They used to call them pickle parks, and places where people would hook up and wander out into the woods and go for a hike. And then whereupon you might just stumble upon an individual who just might want to, get to know you a little bit better and that kind of a thing.
They still do that.
Of course they do. I was closeted, married to a woman. When I came out, my parents didn't accept me, and I'm an alcoholic.
So I was a closeted professional hockey player, I was suicidal, and a womanizer.
But
when we learned that our problems aren't special,
and everybody's going through something,
we realized it's all
What's up, everyone? It's your K-pop princess Soju. I wanted to let you know that DragCon LA 2020 is happening May 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. So get your tickets now. 안녕.
You're traveling all around and you're speaking engagements?
Yeah, so I'll speak to like sports teams, or I'll speak at schools, or I'll speak to like corporations or events and
this inspirational stuff, trying to be yourself.
Yeah.
Is the gay world or the gay community, do you find it significantly different in each country or city or places that you've traveled?
The small towns are so different.
Well, I came from a small town. Everybody knows The Office, and they are familiar with Scranton. I'm actually from a little tiny town outside of Scranton called Taylor. Back in the day that I lived there, you just were not gay. There was a gay bar. It was called the Silhouette Lounge. It was just this dark, place with no signage, and you, for a lack of better terms, you went in the back door.
Literally.
Literally. You had to go and disguise yourself and that kind of thing.
Sneak in, sneak out.
Yeah. So in the small towns, there's still a lot of oppression. There's still a difficulty, regardless of whether you're on these apps and things.
I'm from originally Sudbury, Ontario, which is like 4 hours north of Toronto.
One gay bar, right?
Yeah, it's the only one in the entire north. It's called Zig's. So going up north into these different areas, you find out what people are into, and don't get me wrong, there's a lot of similarities. Everyone likes Drag Race, everyone likes that type of thing, right? The mainstream gay things. But then they're like, yeah, we're going hunting and fishing this weekend. Or we're going further up north.
Well, that's kind of sexy. Let's go up to the cabin, fellas. What's great about the phenomenon of Drag Race is it brings these parties together. You're rooting for your team. It becomes
sports.
What is that thing where you pick the team and you have the lottery, or what is it called?
Like fantasy sports?
Fantasy thing.
It does bring people together. Like Zig's in Northern Ontario watches Drag Race now. They have this in these small towns.
Right.
And I think it's bringing them together and also bringing them closer to larger centers. Everyone thinks that being gay today is so much easier.
Right.
We see visibility in New York, LA, Toronto, Montreal, Chicago, like the major centers, right? And we think, oh, well, everything's great, love is love, blah, blah, blah. But that's not real. Go into rural Canada, go into rural America, and you really see the racism, the transphobia, the things that are going on.
And it's not just in these small towns. There are people that are losing their lives in other countries for being who they are.
Somebody reached out to me. His best friend started the first LGBT newsletter in a country where it's illegal to be gay.
Right.
He was found by the government and decapitated. And his best friend messaged me for help. And I didn't know what to do or say, but this is what's going on in the world.
Right.
But we just see this, rainbow fairy tale of the best places in the world.
Right.
To be gay, and we got to show that visibility, it's important, but the reality is, it's not that extreme necessarily in North America for people. But I still think we're not that far off from Matthew Shepard either.
The coming out stories are so important for us to continue to tell these stories for those individuals out there that are watching, so they can find their tribe, that they can find the people that they can relate to, and that they can realize, again, that they're not alone. There's always hope, but I'll receive messages out of desperation. What do I do? And my response is generally find somebody who will listen. the most dangerous place you can be is alone. And so if there is that bullying or that oppression, try to find that tribe. And it is a little bit tougher in these smaller communities, but it's there. People are there for you at the schools, at the colleges, or find your community on the www. And that's great about social media, is it's a way to interact with people.
You could be in the middle of nowhere in like Iceland. Well,
Right.
I guess Iceland's a little.
I'm not sure, I've never been to Iceland, but I'm available if you just contact me on the www.mrskashaDavid@gmail.com, and I'm available for bookings. Probably,
Only in
probably one of
Iceland.
the best rates out there. In 1999, it was the first time that I saw the rainbow flag, and I was brought to a gay pride picnic, and I had no idea what gay pride was. And this guy was explaining to me, these people are all celebrating who they are. And it was out of a picnic in a park, this gigantic festival, and there was, the beer tent and the entertainment tent and the drag queens, and they even had some kind of pet fashion show, I don't know. It was everything, and I had nothing like that in my small town. And when I was there, I was like, wow, these people are enjoying and celebrating who they are. And it was the first time I realized that that's a potential for me, that I can do that.
Hey, Kasha.
Yes.
You want to go to the gay bar?
Let's go to the gay bar. Woo!
I had so much fun my first time.
Right.
And it was such a great positive experience that helped shape me the first time I was around in the queer community.
Right.
I was still closeted, and I was playing hockey out there. We were out, and I snuck off to the village.
Right.
Went to a gay bar. And I was standing there alone. Some guy comes up, starts talking to me. He introduced me to his friends. One of them's a drag queen. She sticks her hand down my pants and looks at her friend and goes, "You should go home with him."
And?
He wasn't my type.
Ah.